This is Chris Henning with Travel Past 50, and we're here to present some tips on packing light for your travel around the world, whether it's a weekend or months-long holiday. We have been traveling since 2010, so we've learned a few things about packing, and we have included a lot of tips about packing and travel bags and other products for travel on our blog. But finally, we had some requests for more visual how-to unpacking. So we have created this video for you. It's simply made while we were traveling. So what you see is what you get. We were traveling for 2 months in Europe, mostly by train, covering several countries and cities. And this is how we packed. It's very similar to how we pack for every trip, no matter the length of time or destination. So we hope you'll use this as your basic template for making packing light a lot easier. Let's take a minute to talk about why it's worthwhile to pack light. You don't want to be this mule. I don't want to be this mule, nor do I want to ask anyone else to schlep my bags because I've overpacked and can't handle them myself. The key is to know that you can roll or carry on your back or put over your shoulder everything that you are traveling with. That is the key to flexibility. I will add that I don't brag about being a carry-on only person. I frequently check bags, but I am packing so that I have the flexibility to carry on only if need be. Right now, on this train travel through Europe, it is not unusual to get to a train station and need to carry bags down a flight of stairs and up a flight of stairs to get to the appropriate platform. So I am comfortable with that. I don't ask anybody for help, and that's, to me, a satisfying and free way of traveling, where really it comes down to the satisfaction, the independence, and the security of having your bags with you all the time. Let's start by talking about which bags you're packing. This is the key to packing light, is don't use a giant piece of luggage. It's sort of like dieting. If you want to control your food, you're going to use a smaller plate and smaller portions. The same goes for traveling, for packing light. I use, you'll see on the left, a blue roller bag. This one happens to be by Eagle Creek. I have an almost identical one by another company. It is first and foremost carry-on compliant. This will fit in an overhead bin. Another basic rule is I never start a trip with the expansion zipper expanded. Use your carry-on luggage as your guide to how much you can effectively carry. Practice walking around your block or up and down a flight of stairs with your packed bags. So the key is use a carry-on size bag even though you're checking. Here you see my personal bag. I use a roll-on and a backpack for my personal items. We'll get into that a little bit more. And Tom uses, currently, he's primarily using this Cotopaxi backpack for his main bag. And when he does that, he uses a messenger bag for his personal items. Tom will also use, for a trip like the one we're on now, that's a longer trip of 2 months with train travel, he is using a roller bag as I am. This is also his orange Eagle Creek bag. And in that case, he uses a backpack, which holds a little bit more than his messenger bag for his personal items and cameras. When I'm traveling, I am in my travel uniform, practically. I start with the notion that I don't have to wonder what I'm wearing on that travel day, on that flight. I wear the same thing for my long flights. That starts with my footwear. Let's go from the ground up. My footwear is going to be the heaviest shoes in my arsenal of walking shoes. We'll get into the shoe choices later. I am wearing a legging here, which is kind of unusual for me to wear. I normally wear leggings only out of the house when I'm going to yoga class, but these are, they're thicker fabric and they're compression leggings made specifically for travel. They're made by a company called Urban Undercover. I love them, and if you're not wearing something like this, we really recommend wearing compression socks for long flights to avoid blood clots, which can be very serious. I wear a collared button shirt, just like this, every time I travel. And I love it because I can pop the collar up if it's drafty on my flight. I can show up at a warm destination, roll up my sleeves, and I've got a short sleeve, comfortable shirt. It, during the trip, will end up being a little dressier option than the t-shirts I'm packing. And it's absolutely flexible. With that, I wear a scarf. I may pack the scarf in my personal item bag if it's really hot, but this again is going to help me with drafts. I can put it over my head. It's really great to have a scarf for both practical and accessory reasons. Those are my travel day clothes. The first step to packing is really considering your destination, the weather there, and the activities that you plan on participating in. For this trip, for example, it was 2 months in Europe. We started in Italy. It was in the 80s. We are now in Germany, Austria. We had snow in Austria. So we've gone from extreme to extreme. And when you think of your activities, you'll also want to just pull everything out that you think you might need, and you can eliminate from there. So just don't edit yourself too soon in the process, but think about everything that you might be doing and all of the weather. First step, once I have all of the gear organized or together spread out in my bedroom, is I am sure to pack, in fact, some of these things even stay in my suitcase, a rain jacket and a light shell. These are packed in an outside pocket so that if I arrive at my destination and it's really cold, really windy, really rainy, my jacket is accessible. I don't need this on the flight. If the bag is checked, that's fine. You'll see a little blue pouch. That is a feather light shell that I always carry with me, and that can be layered for extra warmth or just a windbreaker at the beach. This is what I call the bottom of the bag stuff. These are the items that relate to your activities and and the climate where you are traveling. So you'll see here I've packed knee braces, because whether I'm out in the wilderness or in a city, I might need that. I might also pack trekking poles. If you do pack trekking poles, they have to be checked. You cannot carry them on, but if I'm really out on an adventure tour, I might pack trekking sticks as well. For this trip, I packed, you see at the bottom, a neck gaiter, which is a wonderful, versatile item for layering to keep you warm, a stocking cap, and gloves. And believe me, I've used all of these on this trip. Above that, you see a little over-the-shoulder small bag that I use for an evening purse on occasions. I especially like this if I have any business meetings during a trip, because I can just slip my business cards and phone in this bag or going out to dinner. It's great too. You just don't feel like you're schlepping your day pack and looking like a slob at evening dinner. On the lower left, you'll see a nylon bag. I actually packed 2 of these now, one for laundry and one for shopping. If we are in a place with a little kitchen, an Airbnb, for example, it's great to have this to go to the grocery store and buy some supplies so you are not eating dinner out every night. Above that, I carry a microfiber towel, which is very versatile. I use for wringing out laundry. I might use it on a pillow because I don't like the idea of a pillow that's been used a lot. It's very versatile and handy and lightweight. In this bottom layer, I might even have a day pack with a water bladder system if I'm doing more serious hiking. water shoes or dry bags that you might need for water activities. That all is gathered together, and it fits nicely, just filling in the crevices between the braces on the back of your bag. The other items that go in the bottom of the bag are my swimming suit, which I always pack in case there's a pool or a beach. Always have it with you, or sauna. And cozy clothes is what I call them. I always pack a t-shirt that I can sleep in or get up in the middle of the night if it's not a private place. I've got gym shorts and a t-shirt for that. And just to feel comfortable. I highly recommend that you don't overlook the need to get into your lounge wear and have time back in your hotel room or wherever you're staying to relax as you would at home. So I roll these up and they will fit nicely between that other sports gear that I'm packing. Now let's go on to the shoes. I like, again, to just pull out all the possibilities that I may have in mind for this trip. And then my rule of thumb is I'm wearing the bulkiest ones and I'm taking 2 other pairs. So let's talk about those 3 categories of shoes that I'm working with. First are the essential, the best, very best walking shoes or trekking shoes that you have. In this case, I'm wearing a pair of Oboz, O-B-O-Z. They're made in Bozeman, Montana. And I've used these for years. They're excellent. They look decent. And they are great in all weather, in the city, and off on the trails. The next category in my footwear selection is going to be what I call a city shoe. This might just be another sports shoe that you alternate with. I firmly believe in giving your shoes and your feet a rest by alternating your best walking shoes. So I may pack another sports shoe like the Zeros that you see on the left, or something more appropriate for warmer weather. Might be a shoe that I don't need to wear with a sock, like the Piccolinos that you see, or the Kizik's, which Tom wears as his city shoe. And I wear this version in the summer with or without socks. These are pull-ons that are very, very comfortable and supportive. And the third category in my footwear is a sandal, a water shoe. This functions for me as a slipper around the hotel, but I want to be sure that if I go to a pool or a beach, that I've got something that will be fine in the water. And here, drumroll, are the shoes that made the final cut. As you saw, I'm wearing the Oboz for my travel days. I did cheat a little bit and went with 2 city shoes. For this 2-month trip, I could justify it with these 2 shoes. The Rothy's on the left are great for dinner. They are really slipper size. They look decent. And you can walk in them all day. I don't. I just use them as an alternate to feel a little dressed up in the evenings. The Zeros I definitely packed because they're my alternate walking shoe in the city. And these are great for posture. They're no elevated rise in the heel. So they feel like walking barefoot, and they're also as small as a moccasin. So I justified that. And then I chose the Crocs as my slipper water shoe. Now we get into my rule of 2s, and this just makes your life so easy. Again, I encourage you to pull out possibilities for your clothing selections and then narrow it down to 2. We'll go into these examples. My rule of 2s, as you'll see, is sometimes broken or bent or disregarded. Let's start with the shirts. These 2 shirts on the left are my travel uniform. I carry shirts. I'm wearing one, I'm packing 2, or I might just pack 1 depending upon the length of the trip. But this trip I wore 1, packed 2, and I travel with them on a hanger so that I can just fold them up and slide them into the sleeve of the suitcase. Tom folds his shirts. He also packs 2 or 3. I also pack t-shirts using the rule of 2s. In this case, again, based on the weather and the length of the trip, the destination, I packed 2 long sleeve and 2 short sleeve. They are all unbound merino wool because we love the way that they wash, dry quickly, do not retain odors. They're just an absolute great travel shirt. Tom packs these as well. He rolls his. I fold mine and put them in a cube, which we'll get to in a minute. I pack 2 pairs of pants. Wear one, pack 2. In this case, they're both by Athleta. I do not ever pack jeans. I would say that's the only thing that I kind of rule out. I pack comfortable pants that I can sit in for a length of time because that's what we need. In this case, the trekking pants on the top, I think I'm on my 3rd version of these. These are from Athleta, as are the black, a little bit dressier pant below. So those are my 2 choices. And now we have 2 options to pack for that warm layer, a sweater or jacket. This is not counting my rain jacket, which is already in the outside pocket, or that little shell. That's in my outside pocket. What I'm packing in my bag this trip is this all-purpose down sweater jacket, which I have worn for years. It's starting to lose its loft, but it's still trustworthy. It packs down into that little pouch you see on the right. This is also so light. It's a given that this is going to be one of my warmer layers. My second warm layer on this trip is a black merino wool zip-up hoodie. I've also packed zip-up hoodies that are just a sports jacket type of thing. Now we move on to what is packed in cubes and how I use cubes. I like to think of the cubes as a dresser drawer. It's good for packing, but it's really wonderful for the way you can live out of a suitcase while you're traveling. So first, the little cube at the top, I put my underpants. I can squish a couple dozen if I think into this tiny cube. In the medium-sized cube, I have bras, socks, and handkerchiefs. Any other, a cami might go in here as well if you like to sleep in a camisole rather than a t-shirt. And I use a 3rd cube for t-shirts. So my 2 long sleeve and 2 short sleeve t-shirts are in another medium-sized cube, not big. And the next step is to organize the toiletries, or to pack the toiletries. I tend to organize my toiletries a day or 2 in advance. In fact, you'll see that in my medicine kit, when we get to that, I'm actually living out of that at home. It's so convenient the way it is arranged that's what I use all the time. In this case, these are the toiletries that can be checked if you are checking. You don't want to have the weight of them necessarily in your personal item on your back. So here's what goes into my roller bag that could be checked. And that is in the clear bag, the things I specifically need in the shower. That will be a shampoo. I use a bar shampoo that is lighter, more compact. I have a face soap bar. Again, I avoid liquids when I can. The liquid I do have in here is a refining lotion and a hair conditioner. In the pink bag on the right, I have makeup, and just a reminder that you don't need all of the makeup that you have access to at home. Just select a couple eyeliners, a couple lipsticks, your brow stuff. I keep it really simple. I've got very little in here. It can be squished quite flat, but I like that it's separate so that I don't have to scramble through all of my toiletries to find the makeup portion. And then in the bag at the bottom, the flowered bag, is my more general toiletries. Again, these are kind of over-the-counter items, things that if I lose in a checked bag, it's not the end of the world. There are stores where I'm traveling and I'm happy to go shop for these items. So it might be a body lotion. I do put a hairstyling product in here, my toothbrush, toothpaste. I think that's about it. I did want to mention that as you're packing your toiletries, not only am I using a lot of bars to avoid liquids, but I'm taking items that I can use on my own And I specifically, so I don't have to use the hotel products if I don't want. And I don't want to use hotel products when they are single-use plastics. I will use hotel soaps and shampoos if they are in bulk, but I want to avoid the single plastics as part of responsible tourism and sustainable travel. I'll add to the toiletries comment too that this is where you can have a satchel, if not the general one, for the first aid kit or sunscreen, other over-the-counter items that, again, you don't need to have with you in your personal item bag. And now for that personal item bag. This is your backpack or messenger bag, whatever it is, we highly recommend it can be zipped closed. A big tote bag that is open is not a safe way to travel. It's easy to lose items by mistake or to be pickpocketed if you have an open bag. So be sure your bag is able to be entirely closed and secured. This bag is for the essential items that you never want to or can check. So my laptop, because of the battery, cannot be checked. It's in my personal item. My camera, if I'm carrying an extra camera, is here. My medicines are here. My contact lenses are here. My sunglasses are here. And all of these, and anything I might want to use in flight, like my reading and my earbuds. So we'll run this down a little bit in more detail. So let's look at a little more detail that in your personal item bag, you're not only going to have those things that cannot be checked, like medicine and electronics, but things that are going to make your travel more comfortable, that you can access while you're traveling to make your long flight more comfortable. So I'm going to include in that my Kindle, something to read, my notebook and a pen, my headphones and chargers that I put in a separate little pouch so that I can quickly access them, grab them while I'm boarding, water bottle. I also always keep a headlamp in here. It's an old habit from traveling in South America. I just want to have a couple of emergency items in here. And also, I still carry face masks, hand sanitizer, and so forth. So if I'm in a tight situation, I have access to those things I need. A little snack bar is a great idea too. Here's a little tip for your medicine bag. I use pill pouches that are so compact and easy. I've used these for 10 years and it's really helps cut down on the bulk of your medicine bag. And another tip for carrying on is just do be mindful of having easy access to those items that you want to access in flight. Now, for a lot of women, you're going to carry a purse as well as your personal item. Just a reminder that if there's a chance that you're going to be carrying on, that purse will need to fit into the personal item so that you're only boarding with 2 pieces. And even if that's for the 10 minutes it takes to board. So for a lot of women, you might have everything you need to access during your flight in your purse. Just pull that out. For men, use this little pouch system or just have everything on top so that when you get to your seat, you can pull out your book, your earbuds, your neck pillow, and you're set for your flight. Okay, now the fun part. We get to pack our bag, pack our light bag. First, a reminder that I already have my jacket, my rain jacket, in the outside pocket. I then take my 2 shirts that are on a hanger, fold them over, and slip them into a sleeve that's on the inside of the top of my bag. Done. Next, I pack the gear that is specific to the season and my activities. So these fit nicely at the bottom of the bag between those braces that are kind of lumpy. So I fill that in with the cozy loungewear that can be rolled up and fit in between those items. Next, I pack the shoes. I have the Crocs, the water shoes, in a plastic bag, and I've just inserted my other shoes into cloth bags that are easy to identify. I do not stuff my socks into my shoes. These shoes just go toe to toe pretty much and pack down very tight. Following the shoes, I toss in my 3 packing cubes, the small underwear, the medium one with bras and socks, and a 3rd cube with my t-shirts. Next, I pack the clothes that are not in cubes. That's the 2 pairs of pants, the sweater or the sweater and jacket, and I've rolled up here some lounge pants that are long, as well as the 2 pairs of pants. They're very lightweight, and so I had both a short and a long option for my loungewear on this trip. And finally, I have inserted those toiletry items that do not need to be in my personal bag and strap those in, and you'll just find where these items fit. And now we're all set. I am packed. The center picture shows Tom with everything he has for these 2 months, his roller bag and his backpack. On the left, you'll see I'm wearing the messenger bag that I carried in my flight is convertible to a day pack. But this one's kind of fun, and I like the way that it converts from messenger bag to backpack. And on the right, you see I'm all zipped up, ready to go. Still, I do not have any expansion zippers undone. This is still my bag without expansion. And that's it. We hope this video has been helpful and that you have enjoyable packing ahead of you. We would love to get your feedback on this video or any travel questions, so contact us at any time. You can find out a lot more about our packing tips and travel tips in general by subscribing to our newsletter at travelpass50.com/newsletter. You'll see that web address here. And of course, on the blog itself, you can search for destinations and for travel tips. Thanks for watching.